What is up, everyone? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video for my channel. So I'm super excited to bring you a brand new TV for 2022. This is a 43-inch LG. It is the NanoCell Think IQ TV. It is pretty cool. I picked it up at my local electronics store, NFM, and I just wanted to kind of bring you some information on it, let you know what I think of it just from a consumer review. I'm not going to get into too crazy specs or text or super tests or anything, just from your basic consumer review as a customer just going out to buy a TV and seeing what they think of it. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. If you've never tuned into DJ Martini Midwest Reviews, please do. Please like, subscribe, and share. All I like to do is do review videos, try to get my hands on all kinds of things and bring them to you, all kinds of tech, DJ stuff, all kinds of stuff, and bring them to you, do the research so you don't have to, give you positives and negatives, give it to you as easy as possible, and then leave some links in case you guys are interested. So thank you so much. Let's get into the video on the 43-inch LG Nano. I'm just going to grab my notes here so I can give you all the information. Let's go ahead and start with the specs on this 43-inch. It is an IPS display with a full array LED backlight system. So basically, sometimes they light LED lights from the sides and the top, and then they light in, and then that's how you get your picture. And then some are full array where it have like all kinds of little lights all through the TV, and that's what this one is. So it's a little bit thicker. It's not like the skinniest TV in the back, and I'm going to show you a little picture of that here in a little bit. But it is a full array, so it does give you really good colors in my opinion. So, and like I said, this is going to be an opinion of mine, so everybody else could be different and that kind of thing. And I've heard kind of mixed reviews. I actually did a little research watching videos on this TV, and everybody kind of had some different opinions in my opinion from video to video, which is kind of different because, you know, usually you can get a pretty consistent idea of what people think of the TV, and some of them are different about lighting conditions and things like that. So we're going to get into that a little bit. So like I said, this is the LG NanoCell. The model, one more time, is 43Nano75. It is a 4K TV. It does have full 4K capabilities. It is available and works with with Google, Alexa, Apple AirPlay. So you're going to get all those cool things with the TV. You can, you know, like stream to the TV from your phone and do all kinds of things with your phone. The phone is very intuitive. It has, you know, an AI processor. It has WebOS. It has a quad-core processor inside of it. So it has a lot of processing power. You can use apps with it. There's actually a Think IQ app from LG that helps you set up the TV if you want to do it that way. So it does have a lot of technology packed into this TV, so you don't have to worry about makes setup a little bit easier. So a lot of technology in the TV, so you can set up and work from apps. Now, I'm not a big fan of the apps when it comes to TV. Certain things I am. I do love apps, but it's just like another app that you have to add on your TV. I don't use the apps a lot on this particular TV. I think I did to help me set it up just a little bit. It did help, but I'm not a big fan of it. I just usually just work everything through the remote control and the TV itself, which we can talk about as well here in a little bit. It does have that NanoCell technology, which, you know, every manufacturer kind of talks about different things, but basically what that does is it refines the coloring, and it really kind of filters out the color so you can get the cleanest color that the TV can offer you. And I believe it does do that. You get really good rich colors, better contrast with blacks. I think it does pretty decent with blacks. Blacks look a little bit blue, but for the most part, it looks really, really good. I think this TV particularly looks better in dark light, but a lot of people say it looks better in bright light. So I think that's just depends on, like I said, eyes and people. So I think it looks better in a little bit darker room. I actually have this in my bedroom, so it gets, you know, when I have curtains down and stuff, it's pretty dark in here. There's not a lot of windows in this room, so I actually do enjoy it. I think gaming looks really, really good, and I do play games. I got my Xbox right there. Movies look great. So it does have really good colors. It does have some really good options too when you're watching movies. You can zoom and do all kinds of things with that as well. So it does have a full array. It does have small bezels, but they're probably bigger than some TVs. So we can't quite say there. It does have the IPS panel. It does have a blue Bluetooth 5.0, so you can Bluetooth sounds from the TV and things like that. And like I said, it does have 4K capabilities. It is a good price at, I got this for around $400. It's like $376. And I think that's a really decent price when I compared it to some of the Vizios and some other TVs in the price point at my local store. And when I looked, this one had the best viewing angles in my opinion. Now a lot of the 43, it's really hard to find a good, because everything wants to jump right up to 50 inch. And in this particular model, the 50 inch is a VA panel, so you get really good darks, but I don't think you get as great colors in my opinion. That's my opinion. So you get great darks with that VA panel, but an IPS display just has a little bit more vivid color in my opinion. So that's why I opted for the IPS display over the 50 inch. And I also like the size of a 43 inch for my bedroom. I don't need anything huge in here. I just like to watch basic shows. I'm not watching home theaters, and I do occasional gaming here, and I'm pretty close to my TV. So there's no reason for me to go crazy. It just fits well in my spot. And I think it was a great price at the $400. There is some cheaper options, but like I said, this one had the best viewing angle. If you're from the side of the TV and you're at about an 80-degree angle, you can still see the display pretty good and it looks okay. I noticed other models in that, like some of the Vizios and some other models in that price range, when you were at the side viewing angle, it would wash out. The colors would look horrible and you could barely tell. It would look really whited. So this one had the best viewing angles in my opinion at the price point. So that's another reason why I went with that, just in case I move it somewhere else. I know I'm going to get the best viewing angles from it. It does have some reflection. You can see that I'm getting reflection from my light in my room and also from the window that I have open here. So it doesn't reflect, but when you turn the panel on, it does correct it pretty decently, and we're going to fire it up in just a second, get you close, kind of show you some of the options with the TV and show you the remote control as well. So we are at the back of the TV here, and I just wanted to show you what the plugs look in. Now, so all your inputs are going to be on the right side of this TV, and your plug-in for your wall plug is going to be on the left-hand side. So on the back of this TV, you're going to have one USB in. Also, you're going to have two HDMI ins. This is your number one, and then this is going to be an ARC input here. This is a antenna in, so you can hook up any of your an antenna for your local stations. On the very back, you're going to have another USB in, an Ethernet port here for any type of internet you want to hook in straight into the TV, and then you also have a digital output here for hooking up to a sound bar or any kind of stereo or things like that. So just want to show you the back of this TV. It is a little bit of a wider TV, you can see, because it does have the full array lights going out through the back of the TV. So it's a little bit wider, but also your stands here are plastic, just to let you know that as well. But it does have mounts on the back. You can see the holes for mounting if you wanted to mount to the wall. All right, so let's talk about gaming. I know a lot of viewers out there are going to ask, how is it gaming? It's a 43-inch. What do you think? Well, I think it's actually pretty good. You can hook it up to your computer. You can do things like that. It has full HDMI ports, so you can, as long as you can have something from your laptop or desktop that has HDMI, you can run it to this TV with no problem. So you definitely can use it for gaming. It is only 60 hertz, so it's not the best when it comes to that. It does have 120 hertz motion rate, but it's not. That's not a true 120 hertz. So they kind of just put that wording in there to get the support. It will help a little bit with some of the blurring and things with sports and things like that. So it does have that, but it's not a. It's a 60 hertz panel. So just to let you know. Other than that, great input lag when it comes to it. It's very, very low. It rates really, really good amongst all the reviews and specs that I looked at there. It's great when it comes to gaming and not having it. So that's a definite positive as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the remote control real quick. It is called a little smart controller here. It does have your basics on here. You got Netflix and Disney and your LG channels and your Prime Video. has your Alexa and your Google as well if you want to tap into that. You have a back button here, your settings, home, a mic button, a menu button. We'll get to that in a second. You have a mute, you have your volumes and your channels. This is your guide button, and then you have, of course, your numbers and your power button up top. So this is a button as well, this middle, and it's also kind of like a mouse, and you can kind of use it as such, and I will show you when we fire it up here. Now, one thing I will talk about is the LG channels. The LG channels are much different than Watch Free. If you're familiar with Vizio, I really did enjoy Vizio's Watch Free channels. This LG is a little bit different, and even Samsung is a little bit different as well. I definitely enjoy Samsung's free channels that you can get via the internet. Very, very good. Then I would go to Vizio. Vizio's Watch Free is great. Has a lot of cool channels, and then I think the LG one kind of rates third to me. I just didn't find it has a lot of similar channels, but there is a few channels that are just a little bit different when it comes to app to app to app. And so I was a little disappointed, but it's not a huge thing to me because for the most part, I can find all the channels that I get with all the free channels out there. Plus there are certain apps that you can pick up anyways that have those channels. So a lot of options for free channels with your LG channels as well. But like I said, in my ranking, I think the LG free channels rank third compared to Samsung and Vizio out there. So I got the remote here, and we're gonna go ahead and start with the middle button here. So if you hit the middle button, it's gonna give you like a little mouse. And you can see my mouse. So you have a mouse. It is pretty free-spirited, so you kind of have to control it a little bit because it does like to fly around really fast. But I do like the idea of a mouse, but you can also just click, and then you'll start, see how I can click through things here? And you don't have the mouse, you actually can just physically click through the apps and stuff. But it does have all your favorite apps. You have, let's see, you have Paramount, Tubi, Pluto, Discovery, Netflix, Prime Video, Disney, Hulu, Apple, YouTube, HBO Max, Freeview, and then this is your LG channels, Tidal, SiriusXM. It has all your, all your good apps that you need. It has your LG Free, which is going to talk about at the top there and show you all that good stuff. And then you have some of those options, of course, on the bottom for the most watched apps, your Netflix, your Disney, your Prime Video, things like that. Now I'm going to go to my settings here. Now here's your settings. It does have different picture modes up here up top. You can see that you have picture mode, cinema, sports, game optimizer, filmmaker, expert, for dark spaces. My favorite for sure is the APS auto power save mode. Actually looks really good. And vivid. Vivid, in my opinion, looks really good, but I do like the power saver mode. Actually, in my opinion, looks pretty nice. Pretty vivid colors. All right, so we're gonna go back to the settings again. Then the sound mode. There is standard mode, cinema, Clear Voice Pro. Now I'm not gonna be able to play anything for you, but Clear Voice Pro is awesome if you have those shows that the background sounds are super loud, but you can never hear the voice. That is really going to clear it up for you. Sports, music, and game optimizer. But really, the AI Sound Pro and the Clear Voice Pro is usually what I have my TV set on. So just to let you know there. Speakers, you can change it to the speakers out. A Bluetooth device, optical out device, HDMI and Bluetooth again, but I have it on my TV speakers. The TV speakers are pretty decent in my opinion. This is the game optimizer. You click into there and you're going to be able to get your best game optimization. I'm going to tell you right here, what your FPS is and all that kind of good stuff. Turn this on, and that way it's going to give you in-game game-related settings and things like that you can mess with, and you can get your FPS going and things like that. If the picture mode is not set to game optimizer, you'll not be able to do that. So when you have the game optimizer on, you have to have it in the game mode as well in your settings. You have to go to game, you have to get your settings, and then you need to be in the picture mode, set to game, optimizer. And then your sound has to be set to game, optimizer. And then once you get to your game optimizer, everything should be working okay. Have all the settings on, and you can, look, first person shooter, role play, sports, things like that. Kind of cool that they have those settings in there. Blue light, dark room, you can level it up if you want to darken it or things like that. And then the game dashboard as well. It's going to be up top here. The settings, all settings here, and see this is your game setting manual, but we can get to you can get back to the settings, and then general. You have your AI, your game optimizer, your family settings, you have channels. You can run a channel check to find out what local channels you can get. If you hook up an antenna, you don't have to hook up an antenna. And then you also have your network, your system settings, your energy settings, which you have a lot of options in accessibility here. You have your auto guide, TV power, grayscale, colors and things like that. Energy savings, of course. Your systems, now this is where I had to look because I was really trying to find the timer. I wanted to find the timer so I can have a timer and have my TV go to sleep when I fall asleep, so that was a good way to find my timer there. So it does have a lot of settings that you can find and that you can mess with. In the picture, the aspect ratio right here. So when you're actually watching something, this is just a background that's on it right now, but if you're actually watching something, you can adjust this and you can make the screen size and change the aspect, make it wider or longer or things like that. So you can adjust the screen size, which is nice on it as well. So definitely a lot of options. Like I said, you can see the picture here and it looks really, really good. It connects to things very, very easily. Which I like. I have an LG DVD player that it connects to nicely. I have Xbox, of course, it will connect to very nicely. Like I said, when you go to the home to get to your menus, it's pretty snappy with the Web OS, which has all your stuff. But like I said, the mouse does kind of fly around on you. You can actually change the size of the mouse too. If you can't see the mouse, you can make it huge, make it different sizes. So definitely pretty cool TV. Wrap this video up with some positives and negatives on this LG TV. So something to think about. Positives for sure is price point. I think at $375, that's a really good price range for this TV, and it's really hard to find a 43-inch TV these days anyways. They really want to jump up from, like a 32-inch TV to a 48-inch TV or a 50-inch TV really fast, and the prices jump as well. So to find something that's really decent and not just absolutely cheap and doesn't really look that good, in my opinion, it's hard to find. There's only a limited amount, probably like a handful of TVs out there that I would even consider at the 43-inch size. So it was kind of easy to research, but it's hard to find the TVs actually. So I think this is a pretty good pick if you're looking for that size of a 43-inch TV and you don't want to jump to a 50. If not, I would just say go ahead and jump to a 50-inch TV because there's a lot better 50-inch TVs that are about the same price point. So just something to think about. But for this TV, I think it was a pretty good deal at the $375. So price point definitely looks good. The nanocell technology, I think, is kind of cool. This TV has a lot of technology. Like I said, quad-core processors that are pretty quick, depending on your internet. I'm in a bedroom a little bit far from my router, so I am on Wi-Fi, but it does work pretty good in this room, and it's decently fast, so I'm okay with that. But all those processors and all the technology in this TV with the Bluetooth 5.0, you're able to hook up some headphones if you want to, keep the sound from some other people, like in a bedroom. That way I can watch TV and not bother anybody else. That's really, really cool technology. So a lot of positives, a lot of technology, good colors and pictures. It looks really good. I personally think this looks better in a dark room, but you know, a lot of people say that it looks better in a bright room. So it's just going to be up to you and what you think, but I think it looks really, really good. Right now, I have some windows open and things so I can get some light to make this video. And it still looks pretty good, but like I said, I really like it a little bit better. It looks a little bit more focused in a dark room, in my opinion. So it does have that IPS display, which is definitely a positive in my opinion. If you're looking for better darks or better home theater type things, I would go with the VA panel in my opinion. And they'd have that in the 50-inch, so I would just bump up to the 50-inch, and I think you might like that a little bit better. Once again, just my opinion. I really do like the features on this TV. I like the way it's set up. The build quality is pretty decent. It does have plastic stands, but other than that, you can wall mount it as well, and it does have options for that in the settings. There's so many settings that you can kind of mess with this TV, so it is really cool. And it has all the features that I use a lot of the time with the timers, and then to be able to, you know, take a widescreen movie and make it full screen and things like that through the settings. Something I like to mess with, and that's a cool and positive on this TV. Negatives, I only have a couple negatives, and it really has to do with the remote control, and I'm going to grab it right here. So I did show you, and I did go over most of the remote control, I wanted to talk about this button is your inputs. So anything that you have, like a Xbox or a DVD player, you hit that and it'll take you to your inputs. You have a mute and a mic, and this is a menu button. But the home button is right here, and if you notice that the home button is right under the volume button. And so sometimes if you're at nighttime and you can't really see it and you're looking for that button and you kind of push down a little too hard, maybe you might hit that home button and then you just left your show and you went to the home. And so I wish they would have put the mute button where the home button is, and that would have solved that problem. That way you can accidentally hit mute and not mess with anything and then just unmute it and then you're good to go. So but if you hit the home button, there's a lot more things that you have to do to get back to where you were. So that's a little frustrating for me, but it's just a matter of me getting used to this remote. Also, the mouse on this remote is a little crazy. Like I said, if you press it, and it is a little crazy. So you have to kind of be slow and steady. You can make the mouse bigger, so you can make the icon bigger and that types of things. And you can just use the sides to, you know, click through things as well. So just something to get used to, but just something to think about. All right, other than that, the only other thing is the reflection. You can see I have a light on. There's pretty good reflection in the middle of the TV right now, but that's with most TVs, depending on where you're mounting it and things, but just something to keep in mind when you're mounting the TV somewhere. Like I said, I mostly have the lights off, and it's usually dark, and I think this TV looks really, really good in the dark, in my opinion. So other than that, I really don't have a lot of negatives about this TV. I am appreciating the TV, and the only, you know, negatives that I kind of have is just with the remote. The TV itself, I actually do like a lot. So I think that's about it. Hopefully, if you have any other questions or anything, let me know. I'll try to figure it out for you and get back to you as soon as possible. This has been the LG Nano 2022. It is model 43Nano75, and it is a 4K TV, 43-inch, and it costs about $400. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. Can't wait to bring you more videos, more reviews, and more items. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.